So if a person remains in victim consciousness, he will never be able to allow the becoming of gratefulness, of humility, of compassion, of forgiveness. And he'll remain in that victim consciousness, and that's what maintains the separateness, the pain. And there can be no healing, because victim consciousness comes from the mind, the conditioning, not from the heart. And that's the reason that it doesn't offer salvation, doesn't offer enlightenment. So the person has to cognite, have an emotional experience that he is in victim consciousness, and see it and admit it. And that at that point, in seeing it and admitting it, the change begins. And it starts to melt away, and its power over the individual to stay separate and in pain starts to diminish. And you all of a sudden are out of your mind, and whammo, boom, in the heart, allowing energy, being responsible. In that consciousness, you really don't have any opinion. You don't have any knowledge. This is all good and very important in order to melt into, back into all of God in what you really are. Because if you maintain an opinion, if you maintain a consideration, what happens is that very thing separates you from everything else. You have to return as the child, as the innocent, where everything equals everything else. And there's no agenda. There's just beingness. There's no victim, only surrender. There's no resistance, only acceptance, allowance. In that, you begin to become free. Free from the prison of self-judgment. Free from the opinion that you are a victim. In the victim consciousness, one tends to hold on to, uphold, fight for, totally resist any healing. Because if you view yourself as a victim, you have to have issues. You have to have reasons why you're a victim. So to maintain the victim consciousness is because that guy's an asshole. Is because no one understands me. Is because things aren't just right. Is because I try to do good things and everybody fucks it up. Victim consciousness is no best. Victim consciousness is a direct symptom of living through the conditioned state, the altered ego, the critical judgmental mind. Don't forget how the mind was created. With all the no's that you got as a child, thousands of no's. And that is the content of that altered ego. No, 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 no. So anytime that you say no to what you create in your life, you are performing through the dictates and commands of the altered mind. It's full of no. No, no, no. Feel your feelings. No. You are responsible. No. Live through love. No. Do the highest thing. No. That's why we say that no always comes from the mind, and yes always comes from the heart. The mind never says yes. The heart never says no. So if this is true, and it's a mirrored universe, why would you ever say no? Why would you ever not take something in? It's for your healing. This is essential, this understanding and then living this of these principles. You must let go of anything that indicates victim. You must let go of anything that is a resistance to what you create, to your life. It's like creating something in your life and saying no to it. Let me create this. No, that's not okay. What a silly game you play with yourself. And that silly game is what destroys everything that you love. The mind is set up that it doesn't want to belong to anything. No group, no organization, even no relationship. It needs to be solo, separate. So any dynamic that you recognize in yourself that you want to separate from whatever is in your life, it's only because the mind is commanding that. Because the reality of God, the highest reality of God, is we are one. So anything that brings you together with a person, with a group of people, with an organization of people, that is for the good of humanity, to bring the love. Only the mind can destroy that. And if you're under the influence of the reactive mind, you cannot stay. You will create departure. Get me out of here. It's too hot. Get me out of here. I don't want to look at this or that. No, no, no. I'm out of here. What you're really saying is, I've created this mirror to see myself and all my dysfunctions and how I create being a victim. And this organization, this group, this person is pointing this out to me, and I don't want to free myself. Because if I free myself from this identification, this perception, what will I be? I won't exist. Aha. There's that suicide that we speak of. That your altered conditioned self that has led you astray all this time is about ready to be deleted. But it doesn't want to be deleted. And will throw everything at you for you to leave, of what's provoking you to look at how you create yourself as victim. And that's where the rule comes in. The rule of why you left your family, the primary cause. What is it? And you play that out over and over again in every relationship you have with a person, place, or thing, with a group, business, or social. The rule will come up. And because it makes you leave, that's what you do. And now you're free, you think. But that's a mirage. You just separate it again from what can make you whole. So, what it comes down to is it takes great courage, bravery, to confront the self. It takes great tenacity to stay with it. It takes miracle insight to see that this is absolutely true and then apply it to your life. Not too many people at this time have those qualities of bravery, tenacity, fortitude to heal thyself. And so the beat goes on, and life on planet Earth continues, and people are separate from everybody. Oh, they have intellectual relationships, but that's as deep as it goes. Don't get too close to me, because then I'll have to look at what I really am. It's the sighting of what you really are, here and now, that offers the healing, that offers your enlightenment, to become one again with the self, to know thyself. Why would you ever say no to that? There must be some sort of sabotage within you, some duality within you, some conflict within you, that you say you want to return to the whole again, and yet you allow the sabotage to happen with all your no's. The only thing that can deliver the possibility of enlightenment in this case would be genuine prayer. I remember early on my path, I used to plead with God, and I didn't care what God was. And I admitted I didn't know what God was. All I know is I demand to see and experience and live the answer. And if I've been led around from my altered self, from my conditioned self, obviously the answers would be in direct opposite of how I was conditioned to live. And there's the other rub. For what a person needs to do, be, and see often makes no sense to the conditioned mind, and so they discount it. They can't hear it because they believe the thinkingness of the conditioned mind is the truth. Well, this is my truth. Is it? One doesn't know any truth in any department, anywhere, anytime, until you have insight onto what you really are. And you allow the victim consciousness to be deleted. And the observation of the self, without judgment, begins. All you have to do is see it. Why won't you take a look? Are you too busy in saying no? So there is light at the end of the tunnel, and you have to begin somewhere. Do you have courage enough to let go of what you think you are and allow the real you to come forth? The loving, unconditional, yes, entity that you really are. No maintains the hell, the conflict that's in your life. Yes produces enlightenment. freedom forever. What will you choose? So it was, so it will be, so it is. Here and now.